We're live
Hi.
in Kalyana Cell to Soul. I'm so excited for sharing Chris Alyssia with this space. I want to say hi to everyone. Of course, you know me, Stephanie Victoria, here serving you through the Akash and cellular technologies and processes to help you amplify your genius. And with me today, Chris Alyssia, one of the muses. Muses will muse. That was my title for today. I'm like, what are we talking about? I just want to share you with this space so badly. So now that you're here,
take it away.
Take it away.
Steph, thank you so much for having me on. We always create more when we come together. And I mean that as a universal truth.
Not just you and me, right?
Yes, absolutely a universal truth.
Everybody.
Come together, that creative energy magnifies 100-fold. So any opportunity I get to just kind of sit in your space and, just play, I'm always down for.
I love it. You're one of the best play dates.
I like life to be happy. I got to say, I always tell people happiness is a straight up choice. You can be depressed, you can be scared, you can be sad, or you can be happy.
You get to choose.
Yeah. And all the happiness is coming from in here. Like nothing that happened in the world is going to control my happiness. I refuse. Nancy Pelosi, all those people, do what you do. Like, honestly, it's not going to affect my day. So I've had people tell me that my whole life, like, well, you're always so positive. I'm like, yep, that's a choice.
It truly is too.
Yeah.
I love your happiness and the way you choose it.
Thank you. We're great roommates when we're in Shasta together because I can feel the same positive energy for you. You're like, all right, we're gonna do this or we're not. It's cool, it just works.
I'm here for it.
It just works. That's why that Mary Magdalene, I always felt that very big Mary Magdalene connection with you. And I saw your post on that book. That was the book, I believe, that taught me about the pattern, that really opened up my psyche to what the pattern really meant. And her going through life connected to the pattern in such an intimate way is both a huge blessing and a huge curse, because you know it's coming, but you know the purpose of it enough not to shy away. Mm-hmm. And I just loved seeing that story from her perspective. Oh, just incredible. I think Joan of Arc had a very similar type of energy. You understand what you're about to put yourself through.
You've got some amazing Joan of Arc energy going in your field.
Someone told me that. I was doing an interview with somebody and he called me out. He's like, oh, that's who you are. You're Joan of Arc. Like, okay. So I really sat on this for a while and I came to the same conclusion with Mary Magdalene because I think she mentions in that book that when Jesus came down, he had 144 souls attached to him so that 144 souls could experience that existence and therefore magnify the reach. So if he was the masculine and she was the feminine, then why wouldn't she have 144 souls attached to her?
Perfect divine balance, right?
It has to. So I think the same thing with Joan of Arc and several of the other really big souls that have come to this planet is they had multiple energies connected to them there so that we could carry that energy forward. It's like imprinting. Even if you're not an active participant in the life, you're still imprinted with those experiences so that you can hold on to those powers and use them. So I've always felt hugely connected. Well, when I started studying that, I felt more connected to Joan of Arc because it's too big.
Yeah.
If someone were to say, hey, you were Mary Magdalene, just you. No,
people say that to me. I've had quite a few. You must have been Mary. I'm like,
it's something that's just huge. So I had to study. I was like, for me, if it doesn't fit, I have to study. Like I was very flattered by the idea. I felt very connected to the idea, but it also felt too humble, not narcissistic, but just too big for me to claim as an individual. So when I read her book, that book that you posted, that gave me the idea. Like that just makes sense to me that multiple souls could be connected to an existence. Yeah. So I just loved that.
It was at Shasta that I think we had that conversation the first time. And I had never until then even considered. My mind hadn't gone there yet.
Right.
My heart hadn't gone there yet. No part of me had gone into the idea, had even thought about creeping up or sneaking up on the idea, right? That I don't even know that like here, I can feel my ego coming in to even say it out loud. The idea that I could be carrying part of Mary Magdalene's essence.
Yeah. And if you might have multiple souls attached to your existence now, and maybe only one of those souls was attached to Mary, but it's the package deal. We think so separately, so linearly. I am one person, I have one soul. Why do we think that's true? We've got multiple guides. We've got that people talk about walk-ins. They talk about all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't other souls be able to imprint with you in order to gain from that experience? Why do we think it's one per body? Mm-hmm. So, and what that really opens up as far as the pattern goes and the karma, the Akashic records, is whatever body, whatever experience you've had, or the souls attached to you have had, you can tap into those powers. It really exponentially expands your possibilities. Right. And the possibilities are straight up endless at that point. So, I mean, go into Mary Magdalene's records. Say, "What's up, Mary?" I don't know what your question is. I'm sure it's going to be a little bit more eloquent than that. I don't know that she'd be
What's up, Mary?
Throw some gang symbols. I don't know how that works.
We're kind of on a first name basis now.
I call out to Mary all the time. I did a priestess course 2 years ago. I got certified as a priestess, and we had to choose a goddess to be attached to for a year. And this was right before Shasta that I did this, and I picked Mary. She had been just so large in my field for that year. So then meeting you and hearing about your fascination, your connection to her as well, I was like, oh, of course.
Naturally, right?
So and it was really that led me to read all of those books and just opened me up to a whole new possibility.
Do you remember in the car, you and I were driving and we had just come, I think, from the vortex. And I had already shared with you that I was seeking through the heart for these lost scriptures from Mary's gospel. Mm-hmm. My husband had sent me the text about whether or not I could retrieve them.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying, "So, did you get anything?" Did you get anything? And I started talking about what I perceived and experienced as a very new revelation, and was just kind of like trying to figure out how to articulate it. And I'm like talking about the chakras and the seven steps to ascend.
Yes.
Right. And you're like, "Oh yeah, I taught a class on that."
Absolutely. So that's another reason I think so many souls are attached when we come down and imprint, because there's information that pops up across history, across oceans, across time, that honestly should not. Buddha taught 7 steps of awakening. The Peruvians had 7 steps of ascension. Mary Magdalene had 7 steps of ascension that she supposedly got right from Jesus. Mm-hmm. We have the 7 chakra systems in the Veda. Yeah. And the spiritual world is all about 7. Yeah. The number 7 is ascension. It's ascension, human ascension. There's spiritual ascension, which I think is the number 12. I'm hearing actually number 13, because there's always that hidden number 13. Anytime there's 12, there's a 13th. Keep your eyes open. But 7 pops up across these cultures. So when I traveled down to Peru and Easter Island with my husband, we did like this big trip. Mm-hmm. And everywhere I went in Peru, I started seeing numbers. I saw the number 3, the number 7, and the number 12. And I was like, why do these 7 keep popping up? And I was listening to the stories about history, and I was familiar with Mary Magdalene's work. I was familiar with the chakras. I was like, there's more to it. So I just started researching. I was like, what is 7 across the world? And I realized that the 7 stages of ascension are universal. Now, what they suggest to do kind of comes at it from different ways. Mary Magdalene's very heart-based. Mm-hmm. Buddha's very mental-based. The chakras is physical as well as energy level. So if you take those 7 steps from across the world and you cross them over each other, You take the similarities and you turn them into a practical program that you can do to ascend in the physical body in this lifetime. It's incredible. Alchemy is the other 7 that I studied. I've studied alchemy as well. So the first step is really awakening. When you look across the board, when you look at everybody's information, how do you wake up? How do you come from the darkness, which is Mary Magdalene? How do you open your eyes in Buddhism? How do you open up that base chakra? It's the start. It's saying there's more to me than this little jammy that gets sick and dies and ages and all that other wonderful stuff. Yeah. As soon as you wake up to that possibility, it begins. And sometimes you have to wake up 100 times in a lifetime, because it keeps life will, God bless, suck you back in. Every time you turn on the news or Jerry Springer or 90 Day Fiance, which is my husband's new fascination, and it sucks me in so quickly. I have to wake up again. It's just not real. Not real. And I love it. So I did an entire season. I was on Awake TV as a teacher. I did an entire season on the 7 steps and broke them down. One show on step 1 and exercises to do this. How do you silence the ego? How do you practice mindfulness in Buddhism? How do you shed that darkness in Mary Magdalene's work? And I just took it step by step. Now, the next step for me is taking it from teaching in a very impersonal format to a personal format. And that's something I want to do, like teach a master class on these steps. And each week it's a step. And you'd probably have to do 2 weeks on each step. How do you silence the ego? That's huge.
You're going to do that in a day.
No, absolutely not. That's a lifetime practice. But once you learn how to do it, you'll see not only what step you're on at any given point, but you'll be able to go back up faster. So if the 4th step is heart, the 4th chakra is heart. If you're here and you feel your energy get pulled down, you feel yourself getting angry or lost, something in your mind or heart says, whoa, 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 this isn't where I want to sit. I want to sit back up in here. And you can jump back up. It's very much, I compare life to Chutes and Ladders. Do you remember that old game, Chutes and Ladders? You're constantly climbing up, and then something happens and you just slide right back down. Right. It's always easier to slide down than to climb up. But once you recognize that is what you're doing, it's faster. It's always faster to go back up. So I love, yes. You see, I get very passionate about it.
I know. And I was so excited when you mentioned this topic too. I'm like, oh, I'm down.
Yes. Her scriptures, her whole story fascinates me. But her scriptures have more poignancy in the few pages that survived than I have personally found in the Bible. The Bible most of it doesn't really resonate with me. Her passages did. Yeah. And mostly because they came from heart space versus mental. Mm-hmm. It was just all very humble. There was no...
I heard agenda immediately.
Yes, absolutely. She was sharing. She was working as a channel and just pushing that information out. There's no control. There was no, I need followers. I don't need anything other than to share this information. And that's why I resonate with her so, so deeply.
Yeah. Man, she got a raw deal from the patriarchy, didn't she?
Yes. Yes. And not just her. Anybody, the other prophets who mentioned her were also written out of the Bible.
Yeah.
Because heaven forbid you compliment this woman or mention her importance. If you look at soul sacrifice on a grand scale, Jesus' sacrifice was huge, right? Physically huge. Hers was energetically huge. She agreed to come down to be a badass female in a time where that was not cool with anybody. No. And then to spend the next 2,000 years having that energy continually bashed and dismissed. Just the sacrifice of that is amazing to me. Just just God bless that you and whomever else was attached to that lifetime was willing and able to do that, because it would have been so easy to shy away.
Yeah. That persecution energy is really easy to run from.
Absolutely. Like, I really don't, maybe if I just don't step outside today with that mob thing going on out there, maybe it won't hurt anything in the future.
Yeah.
But she never shied away. And one thing about Mary Magdalene's energy that I think really draws people in is when you connect with it, it's almost like straight visions that you get. I've had like full-on daydreams about this woman, sitting on, like, I had a vision of Jesus sitting on a cot or a bed, and she's kneeling at his feet and telling him, you have to stay the path. He's in tears, and he's like, why? I cannot keep doing this. It's too big. And she is the rock. She's like, I get it. And she's coming at it from straight empathy. I completely understand. And it is your choice, but we have to stay this path. Think about this, the bigger picture. She's the one who taught him to see the pattern so that he could stay on that path. And that's just, having that vision made me question myself. I was like, was I attached to her too? Like, why am I? That's very much how her energy shows up for people. It's so visceral. Yeah. She's such a badass.
I know. There's just no other word. Energetic badass.
She is an absolute energetic badass.
Do you have anything that you want to share, even like maybe a little nugget from your course? Like a little piece?
So, sure. So there's the 7 steps. The easiest way for me to remember them is to really correspond to the chakras, because it's what we're all most familiar with. So if you look at the heart being the bridge between upper energies, which are the upper steps of ascension, and the lower energies, which are the lower steps of ascension. So you think about all the stuff that goes into your lower energy and all the stuff that goes into the higher energy when you meditate and when you really step out of your body. The heart is the stabilizer. It's the balancer. It's the bridge. So anytime you feel yourself wobbling one way or the other, you're too up there, you're not connected to what's going around you, or you're just too grounded and you're kind of mired in the muck. This is almost like your reset button. This is your pass, go, collect $200. This is where you want to reset to anytime you feel your energy not balanced. Because as much as we think about ascension being, I will leave this planet and never come back, the final step of ascension is actually returning as a teacher. Yes, you could leave and never come back to this planet. The final step of ascension, even in alchemy, is to come back and teach people as the master. It's never leaving the body. So if you keep everything centered and balanced here, and you learn the steps to do that, it just makes everything easier. It makes the coronavirus easier to handle. It makes politics less emotionally charged. It makes family less stressful. It keeps you here and allows everything else to kind of swirl around you. That's why I'm happy all the time.
Stuck in it.
Absolutely right. You don't have to be stuck in it. And you don't have to escape it either. I think that's one of the things that I've really come to terms with. It's about that balance. It would be easy to escape it with hallucinogenics, with, a ton of meditation, with starvation, and the Buddhisms do. They do that, the mummification, the in-body mummification. That's some crazy stuff. It's disgusting, first of all. But what you ascend to is to become a master, to become a teacher. It's not to disengage from the world, it's to get back to the world. So that's the secret to life. It's getting to a place where you can now give back. And I've seen that across cultures, across my travels, across time and space.
That brings right back in what you were saying when we came on about the soul aspect and the way that souls are tethered and combined, and that energy comes back together. And why does it have to be just one? If energy is never created or destroyed,
Mm.
It's naturally combined.
Absolutely. Yeah, we think of our guides as something separate from us, as something smarter. We even think of our higher self as something separate from us.
Yeah.
It's just all an illusion. There is no separation. Energy doesn't work that way. It's all combined. And coming to that realization and constantly reminding yourself of that, because there's a lot of proof to the contrary.
Right. Proof.
Yeah. Science is always trying to prove that we are separate.
Right.
It's just an illusion. So waking up every single time you get sucked into that illusion it's the journey. It's the reason that we're here, is to constantly go through these 7 steps until we get to the point where we can turn around and teach. And then heck, even as ascended beings, you can come back as many times as you want. Right? Mary Magdalene was ascended. She was ascended before she came down. She's like, all right, I'm coming back.
Got one more thing to do here.
I got this. We look at life like it's a punishment.
Right.
Instead of an adventure, a journey. And absolutely anybody who likes Tolkien or any of those big epic fantasies, the journeys are hard, but there's a purpose to each and every one. They're never taken just for giggles.
Right.
And the more you embrace that and find that balance, take care of your body, take care of your soul, the less you have to get swung around by the craziness of the whatever else is going on around you.
There's a lot of people swinging from the craziness.
I know. My folks, I talked to my dad just yesterday, and he was telling me how depressed he and my stepmother are, and it's baffling to me because because I'm not attached to the chaos. I don't believe a lot of what we're being told. It doesn't resonate with me. I don't get pulled into the politics of it. And I still work with the military. That's very much my world. I understand what's happening. I don't feel connected to what's happening because I understand that it's happening for a reason. It's very small nuance.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's bad. I think that it's purposeful. And that small shift has made it hard for me to really grasp why my parents are so depressed and why even really how to help pull them out of it without sounding preachy. It is a choice. But it brings it home that's a big reality for people right now, that they feel depressed and fearful all the time.
What did I see? It wasn't that long ago. I think it was just a meme I saw, but it said, never before in history has it been so obvious that you could stand next to someone else in line at the grocery store or anywhere else for that matter and be in 2 completely different realities.
You notice we don't make eye contact anymore? All of a sudden the masks have stopped us from making eye contact with each other. That's heartbreaking.
It is.
And it's so counterintuitive. I guarantee Corona's not jumping back and forth from our eyeballs. I got positive Corona from some travels. Mm-hmm. I'm negative now. I've gotten 2 negative tests. If you get it, take care of yourself. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
If people pass, there's a purpose to that too. And I don't take that lightly in any way, shape, or form. All of it is intentional. You're not going to accidentally die from this. If it happens, it's because it was meant to happen. And I don't want that to sound cold or callous at all. There's just no real fear in it because things will work out the way that they're meant to.
That's the energy.
Yeah. The news doesn't want you to feel that way. The politics, all of them, there's so much power in fear. An incredible amount of power, and keeping us separate. One of my favorite time periods is the Tudor King Henry VIII time period. Freaking fascinating time period. because they're changing from Catholicism to Protestant and changing the Bible from Latin into English was huge. They're like, oh, we can't. You cannot give those ignorant people an English Bible. They won't understand. And the truth was, they didn't want them to be able to decide for themselves. If you have the information, I can't control you. I need you to stay ignorant. I mean, I really need you not to be able to read this book over here. Don't look at this book over here. Just listen to what I'm telling you, it says. That is what's happening right now. It's all this. The information, it's confusing intentionally because there's a lot of power in that.
Yeah. And that's when it's really important to come back here.
Yes. Amen.
Whole point.
Absolutely. Which is why I think we're putting on a retreat in April specifically for this reason and for this time.
Yep.
So many people have come to me when they hear that we're doing a retreat and saying, oh, how can you do a retreat during Corona? Like, this is when we need spiritual workers to stand up and come together.
Yes. Amen.
This is why the government's saying, hey, stay apart, stay separate, feel fear. Screw
the retreat was born. The spiritual retreat.
This is the time when light workers need to stand together because we can make a shift in this energy, but we can only do it together. We are stronger together. We create together. So putting on a retreat at this time is not only important, it is crucial. It is crucial for anybody out there who is creating on a spiritual level at this time. Get out there, get people together, virtually or in person, and create. Shift that energy away from what they're trying to make it. We are more powerful than they are because we know what we're doing. They're doing it from a blind space.
Right. Not a heart space.
No, we're awake. Yeah. We have more power because we have intention behind what we're doing. So this retreat is about shifting that energy. We're going to Mount Ida, which is one of the 24 nodes of the world, spiritual nodes. So the nodes are connected in two different planes. The node is the place that you go to purge energy, and the null is where energy comes in from spirit. So again, it's that very much that bridge space. So we're going to go there. We're going to activate the node in Mount Ida. We are going to go through the quartz crystal caverns and find our own quartz, mine our own quartz. So that we can do water blessings in the area and just bless the waters that connect out into the oceans. We're going to have your amazing cell to soul stuff.
Yes. It's going to be a cell to soul inspired retreat.
Yes.
Or cell to soul supported. I'm not sure how
it's going to be straight up purify your mind, purify body, purify your soul, and shift it for life. For life. This is not just come to the retreat, feel good, and go home. This is take this forward, teach this to others. This is a movement. It's a light worker movement. And we need people to stand up at this time and carry this message forward. This is the new word of spirit. And we need to connect because together we are incredibly powerful.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be
I'm so excited.
I know, I am too.
I just want to swim in the lake. So the lake, oh, okay, check it. What am I?
Ochoita. How do you say it? Ocho.
No clue.
Spell it. Now I gotta look it up.
While you're looking it up. So the lake is on top of the biggest bed of crystals, like a crystal mountain underneath the ground.
Yes.
So when you're swimming in the waters, you're literally swimming on top of crystals. That is so freaking cool. So think about blessing the water.
Yeah.
Putting in love and memory into that water, charging it, and then letting it soak over your entire body. And then feeding your body with the love and the energy of the food and the stuff that we're intaking. That is every cell, every particle of your energy is going to be shifted from this.
We're shifting cell to soul.
Shifting. Yes. Shifting everything. And we've got Katie coming with us as well to do some of the human design work to show people how they work on a DNA level. What did you choose to do when you came into this life on a very, very cellular level?
Yep.
We'll be doing dream work to get our own messages, working on channeling throughout the entire week. And then there's going to be some life between life regressions if you want to go into like the Akashic Records or into spirit to ask questions to help you find your life purpose.
Yeah.
All focused on shifting your energy and getting you on the path to help with the ascension of Earth. There's no small mission about this. There's nothing small about this retreat.
No, it's going to be incredible.
It's going to be incredible.
An intense opportunity for divine connection and spiritual advancement.
Absolutely.
And shifting into the next level, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Whatever that is for you.
Yeah, just the opportunities to jump forward and make those connections just like the muses have been able to do. Yeah. There's something about being in person together that you cannot mimic virtually.
I'm so excited.
I know, it's the little giggles in the car. You know, the Scooby Gang driving around the mountains, Cat and Katie getting lost on a hike. I'm still not sure how they did that. If one of us had been there, they would not have gotten lost for how many hours.
We'll have to tag them so they can go watch this.
I'm just saying, the north is that way.
All of this to say that a retreat experience in person with other spiritual intuitives, creatives, and the like is a next level experience.
Yes.
Just by virtue of what it is and the intention behind it. Yes. And the way that we're crafting this retreat and offering this DNA-based soul level alignment experience and infusing the planet with this energy and activation from Mount Ida, we're sending that energy back through the planet.
Gave me chills.
I got this beautiful picture as you were talking about the waterways and doing the water blessings. And just think about how quickly that travels and all the places that it will touch.
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to do when I travel is I always have crystals in my pocket. Just little quartz crystals. And any body of water I'm near, I will just sit there. I will listen to the sound of the water. I will focus on love. And I will throw the crystal in the water. We're going to mine our own crystals that are called to us as individuals. Bless the ones that we need to give back to Earth. And allow that to go into this giant waterway that connects to the hot springs that gets drunk by the local people, that goes into the plant life and just filters across the earth like that. It's such an awesome opportunity and a huge responsibility. And I would say to anybody who feels called to that, don't let fear of corona, of travel, of anything else stop you from doing that right now. That is why you should do it right now. You need to get out of your home. You need to get out of your fear. You need to get into your heart. And we got you.
Yep. We got you. We're going to hold you in that space.
Yeah.
Oh, I love your face so much.
I love you
too. Thank you for coming to be in my space today and to share your magic and insights and intuition and all that you are with Kalyana Cell to Soul, because this group, this is your family too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome so much.
And I can't wait to see you again in person.
Yes, I know. It's already been too long. Yeah. It's already been too long. I want to thank you for coming on today and talking energy and Ascension and Mary Magdalene and breaking the news with me about the retreat, April 23rd to 27th at Mount Ida.
Yes.
We'll be activating the planet and each other in some really intense and profound ways, through food, through experience, through embodiment, through energetic interpretation. All of these things combine and weave together to just package themselves brilliantly as an experience that if you're on this path, if you're on this journey and feeling called to it, you will not want to miss.
Absolutely.
That's all I got for today. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and let's not forget to tag Katie and Chris so they can hear about their
Yeah.
so they can hear about getting lost in the mountains. We're so glad to be able to hop on today, and
we're laughing with you.
Yes. So happy to be able to share all of our just unadulterated personalities with you. This is what happens when Chris and I come together. So expect it. Prepare for it. It will happen again. This is not a last time event or first time event. Just prepare to see it more here in this space, because this beautiful goddess is a soul sister of mine who I want to share deeply with you, all of you. And we love you so much. We're both here holding space for this entire container. And know that if you need anything, if you need support, you can reach out to us. Any of the muses can be reached out to in this space. We'll be coming here live more regularly, the four of us, and independently, maybe in pairs. We're gonna share what we know, share our wisdom, share our knowledge in all of our spaces, and expand that reach, because that's really what we're here for, is to share knowledge and to bring forward what's important for the planet to ascend at this time. I feel like I'm closing the Muses show right now, but I'm not. I will, however, tag the show. I'll drop a link to the show. I'll post a reminder in the group so that any of you who want to catch our weekly show, Chris, myself, Kat, and Katie get together every week on Sundays at 10 Pacific, 11 Mountain. Oh, crap. 12 Central.
Yes, 1 Eastern for those poor Eastern Coast people.
If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know I don't do well with time zones. On that note, I would love to invite you again to that Sunday show. We'll tag it. We'll let you know when it's going on. We'll send reminders, notifications in the group, all that good stuff. I want to thank all of you for letting us chitter, chatter, and share with you today, musing, if you will, and we'll catch you again soon.